Welcome to What About the Others? I now present you with the great Zetian.
I was born in a world where a woman's voice was meant to be silent. My family was noble, yet powerless, and the corridors of the imperial court were not kind to girls. But my father, a man of vision, saw a different path. He encouraged me to read, to write, and to understand the weight of history before I ever stepped foot in the palace. I was given a place as a concubine, expected to follow, to serve, to vanish into history without a name. But I was not made to vanish. I watched. I learned. I studied the men who wielded power as if it were a birthright. I memorized their routines, their weaknesses, the whispers they thought no one heard. Every glance, every word, I carried it with me. When the first emperor died, I was sent to the Garnier temple. I was meant to spend the rest of my days as a nun, my life effectively over. But fate, and my own persistence, had other plans. I returned, not as a ghost, but as a force. I rose where no woman had ever risen, becoming the only empress to rule in her own right. I used Buddhism to speak to the people. I promoted the Great Cloud Sutra, which spoke of a female deity who would rule a great empire. I gave the people a spiritual reason to believe in me. Some called me ambitious. Some called me ruthless. I call it understanding. I call it survival. I promoted those who were capable, even if they were not of noble blood. I reformed laws, I improved government administration, and I opened the door for merit, not just birthright. I strengthened the empire's borders and extended our reach further than ever before. They saw my power and feared me, but they could not deny me. I maintained my grip through a network of those who watched the watchers. The secret police were my eyes and ears, ensuring that rebellion could not take root in the shadows. Was it harsh? Perhaps. But in a world where my life was under constant threat, order was the only path to progress. I did what was necessary to protect the empire. But the stories you have heard are often lies. They say I murdered, I plotted, I betrayed. They paint me as cruel. Let me tell you, history is often written by those who fear what they cannot understand. They could not handle a woman who refused to follow their rules. I was a ruler, a strategist, a mother, and a visionary. And I refused to let my gender define my limits. I reshaped the empire to ensure that capable voices could be heard. I walked through halls of power, knowing that every step, every decision, every decree would be judged by generations to come. At my tomb, I left a blank stone. No words, no titles. I wanted my life, my empire, and the peace I brought to speak for itself. Let history decide my name. Remember this: I was not merely an empress. I was the one who refused to be erased, the one who dared to change history itself. And now, I speak to you across time, because my story, like so many others, deserves to be known.
The Empress's story is extraordinary, and there are many more to come. If you believe history deserves receipts, if you've ever asked, but what about the others? Subscribe and uncover the stories waiting beyond the spotlight.